Now these, Deuteronomy 6:1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Most High commanded to teach you, that ye may do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy power, thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son, and thy son's son, and all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Most High, the power of your fathers, have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. And thou shalt love the Most High, thy power, with all thine heart, with all thine soul, and with all thine might. And these words which I have commanded thee this day shall be in thine heart.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. 9. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house, and on thy gates. 10. And it shall be, when the Lord thy power shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities, which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things, which thou fillest not, and wells dig, which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees, which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Next.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 12. Then beware, lest thou forget the Most High, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. Thou shalt fear the Most High thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Most High thy power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of the Most High thy power be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Ye shall not tempt the Most High your power, as ye tempted him in Massah.
Verse 17. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Most High thy God, and his testimonies and his statutes which he hath commanded thee. Verse 18. And thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of the Most High, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which the Most High sware unto thy fathers, to cast out all thine enemies from before thee, as the Most High spoken. Verse 20. And when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Most High our God hath commanded you? Verse 21. Then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and the Most High brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 22. And the Most High showed signs and wonders, and great and sore, upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household, before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in, to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And the Most High commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Most High our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is this day. And it shall be our righteousness, if we observe to do all these statutes, before the Most High our power, as he hath commanded us. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Verse 2. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Verse 7. The Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Most High brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Most High thy power is the Most High, the faithful Most High, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee this day to do them.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments, and keep and do them, that Ahijah thy power shall keep unto thee the covenant and mercy which he sware unto your fathers. And he will love thee, and bless thee, and multiply thee. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, thy wine, and thine oil, the increase of thine kind, the flock of thy sheep, in the land which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or any of your cattle. And Ahijah will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. Verse 16. And thou shalt consume all the people, which Ahijah thy power shall deliver thee. Thine eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shall thou serve their gods, for that will be a snare unto thee.
If thou shalt say in thy heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what the Most High thy power did unto Pharaoh, and unto all Egypt. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Most High thy power brought thee out, so shall the Most High thy power do unto all people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, the Most High thy power will send the hornet among them, until they that are left, and hide themselves from thee, be destroyed.
Right, one more.
Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Most High thy power is among you, and made a mighty God and terrible.
Verse 22. And the Most High thy power will put out those nations before thee by little and little. Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. But the Most High thy power shall deliver them unto thee, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction, until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings unto thy hand, and thou shalt destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before thee until thou hast destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall be burned with fire. Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination of the Most High thy power. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination unto thine house, lest thou a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
All right. So we're going to go into it real quick. We're going to work our way from Deuteronomy 7 to see some insight here. In Deuteronomy 7, when it says, because a lot of people go to this scripture and ask about this when it comes to what they say today, interracial marriages, and they would go to this chapter and say that the Most High said that we're not supposed to deal with any other people interracially, right? I've heard this brought up many times. They go straight here. All right, but let's rightly divide the word and get some understanding, right? When you go to the lawyer, read 7 and 1, if you can. 7 and 1 and 2 for me, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. When the Lord thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show any mercy unto them.
So as you can see, these were people in specific that the Most High was pointing to, right? Now, as we know, even before this, the Most High gave, well, Sarah did, Hagar, the Egyptian, to our father Abraham to bear another nation. So what's the difference between the nation, the Egyptians, that Abram dealt with, and these people we're reading here? Huh? Why did the Most High wanted to utterly eradicate these particular people?
Because they're Nephilim.
Exactly. They were Nephilim. The bloodline was the bloodline of the serpent. So that was a specific guideline. He made it clear, these people over here are not regular people. You understand? These are the children and offspring of the angels that were operating before the flood. Now there's more to it, because this is how we can relate it to today, of how they control us as far as the powers that they worship. Listen clearly. I need you to go down to their gods, where he says break and destroy their gods. Read the 4th verse.
Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly.
Read.
But thus shall ye deal with them.
This is how you deal with them.
Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
Now, why did the Most High say in specific, not only at this time get rid of them, but break down their groves, break down their places of worship? What was going on there? Sacrifices, yes. What else?
Idol worship.
Yes, but who are they worshiping? Who are the idols?
They were worshiping their forefathers.
They was worshiping their fathers, the fallen angels. Another thing they were doing there, What else? What else were they doing in those areas?
Selection.
We said child sacrifice to Moloch. All right? But there's another thing they were doing. These hubs were the main points of communication and commerce. They would use these places to draw the people and to communicate the will of Satan throughout the earth. The same way, if you go to the United States, everyone go to Washington, D.C., or you go to where the Statue of Liberty is. These are points of communication of control. So they were able to break, the Most High wanted to break the communication of how they have power through sorcery over the people. If the people understood exactly what they were worshiping and exactly who they were worshiping firsthand, they would have no part of it. But it's part of their psychological programming. And they needed these places of commerce. And I did some research on these places. All these places, they set them up in London. They set them up in America. And they're the main points of commerce or communication. They have the best theaters there. They have everything that that permeates, throughout the system, that everyone would draw to. So he said, tear them all down. They got theaters, whatever, churches, temples, all these things were the main hub to control the people. Today they got TV. You understand? But back then, they had these points where everyone would go for entertainment or whatever the case is. You understand? And they would use their programming to worship the gods from there. Right? One other thing that I wanted to point out here that we talked about not too long ago. I need you to go down, lawyer, and go down to where it talks about the graven images, 25 through 26. 7, 25, and 26.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25 to 26. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
And we know these images were the gods of who? The Father, exactly. They were the fallen angels. Now they disguise those gods. They call them saints in the Catholic Church. See? But you have to break the statues and all that because there's really spirits that they use through high magic that operate within earthen vessels. Most High says break them, utterly destroy them. It's high magic. And it must be high magic. Anytime they can get the Most High's creation to bow to stone. It must be some level of psychological programming that would make you fall down to your knees and think this thing is going to answer you. Right? There's more. Read that.
Verse 25. The graven images of their gods shall ye burn with fire.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy power. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thy house.
See that? And a lot of us do this without understanding. We'll go someplace to an old shop someplace, and we'll think this thing is decoration. We'll think something is just it'll just go with the decor. But some of these statues and all that we buy have prayed demons in them. And you'll bring them in your house and you have a poltergeist. So what do the Most High say do?
Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
Go ahead.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it. For it is a cursed thing.
For it is a cursed thing. So a lot of us bring curses on ourselves by dealing with the Canaanite religion, the Canaanite artifacts. Because believe it or not, on the other side of the flood, on this side of the flood, the Canaanite religion is the religion. That's the religion of Babylon. It's the Canaanites, the children of the fallen angels. That's the religion. All paganism correlates with the Canaanite religion, what the Most High told our forefathers to destroy on the way in to the land of Canaan. Right? Now, How do you relate this? Going back to the intermarriage thing that people ask. Well, can this person supposed to deal with that person? This person is supposed to deal with that person. And I hear that all the time. Yes, I hear that. But listen, you can't use this scripture for that. You can't use a scripture where the Most High said don't deal with a Nephilim bloodline. You understand? To say one cannot love someone outside of whom you perceive is not an Israelite or what have you. Right? So the first thing to do is only judge what you can understand. And that's why Christ was coming down on the Pharisees and scribes and all of them. Because they was coming down as if they knew the will of the Most High and understood who everyone was and what people should be following. And what they should be following was broken on a regular basis. Right? So let's just deal with the interracial thing real quick. All right? And listen, as far as I'm concerned, marriage and who people marry is really none of my business. Let me make that clear. Okay? That's none of my business. But we get so much information on this, you understand, and so many questions on it. I thought that I would deal with it to some degree. All right? Let's get it real quick. Let's get the one where it talks about the genealogies real quick. Now, if someone asks me my personal opinion, that's different than me trying to bring what the Most High says about things. And I'll put that out there right now. My personal opinion is that you have a less confusing life if you operate with someone whom you can relate to. It's just less of a problem. You understand? That's my personal opinion. But my personal opinion is not the will of the Most High. And the mistake people make is bringing their personal opinion in and try to use scripture to bring over their personal agenda, opposed to not understanding the will of the Most High. Here's the confusing part. All right, let's talk about race. Right? Someone say, well, oh, you ain't supposed to be with this person, or you ain't supposed to be with that person. Right? And then they'd be like, okay, well, didn't the Most High bring Ishmael through somebody outside of Israel? Give me the understanding on that. And then they'll look at you and try to argue about something else without, you understand? And I'm putting this out there because so many people are using hatred within the doctrine and think that it's just a black or white thing, and they're missing the whole point. Let's read it.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 8 through 9.
Go ahead.
This is a faithful saying, in these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which believe...
Read that again.
It says, this is a faithful saying.
This
is Titus
is
3 and 8.
Faithful saying.
This is a faithful saying.
Titus.
In these things I will that thou affirm constantly.
These things should be affirmed all the time, constantly within our minds. Read.
That they which have believed in the Most High might be careful to maintain good works.
Go ahead.
These things are good and profitable unto men. But avoid foolish questions.
Avoid foolish questions.
And genealogies.
And genealogies.
And contentions.
And contentions.
And strivings about the law.
And strivings about the law. Read.
For they are unprofitable and vain.
Read that again.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies.
Genealogies. Now, it's speaking of genealogies concerning what? According to the law. It's talking about that. Because the Most High made specific in the Old Testament what people we should stay away from. Okay? So there were some children of the Queen of England and all that operate. No, y'all can operate over there. We understand that y'all you dealing directly with satanic Nephilim blood. Y'all drink blood. You are walking demons on the earth. Okay? Straight up, I don't have to, listen, I'm not trying to bring no type of understanding to Prince Charles or the Queen of England. Okay? They keep themselves separated from the populace and are worshipped on the earth as gods, like the Caesars were. And they have separated themselves from us so that because they know they cannot, quote unquote, taint their bloodline with the rest of the people. Because our bloodline is dominant. So in order to keep their bloodline pure, they stay away from us. So I'm making it clear. If people are going to talk about races and go into that and try to bring the law into it, you better know whom you're talking about. You must know that these people are Girgashites or Hittites or Amorites or Canaanites. The people the Most High told us to stay away from, knowing that they had fallen angel blood, that they are to be destroyed. Right? And they are enemies of the Most High's elect. They actually bear children to fight against the next generations of Israelites and teach them in their institutions to destroy the poor. Right? Read on.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies.
So why does it say avoid foolish questions and genealogy? Who married? They'd be like, well, can we marry this? Or what about black and white? What about that? Listen, what about you? What about your relationship with the Most High and whether or not you're following the law of the Most High? Because I don't think you looking at another relationship is going to get you into the kingdom of the Most High. What do that have to do with you? Unless that's something you're dealing with personally, and that's a separate conversation. If someone you like or care about have eyes on another person. And that can happen to you whether it's a black or white person. You understand? And I'm putting it out there because a lot of people, I went over something the other day where some person say that we avoid these questions because of this or because of that. No, we avoid some of this because a lot of what people do is none of our business. Okay? We're not the Pharisees and scribes here. We're not lining people up and giving them blood tests to see where they're from. That's none of our business. Our business is to teach the Bible and to have those that are in the spirit of understanding that the Most High elect to come to the understanding so that they can do what's right on this earth, so that they can have a path to the Most High. That's our job. We can't be up in someone's relationship and say, well, who's who? What the Most High put together, like Yeshaya said, let no man put asunder. And I'm saying this because I've known situations, and I'm putting it out there, where there was families are good, and they think they're getting the truth, and they come as Israelites and all that, and the whole Israelite thing destroys their family, no matter what color they are. It's about separating you from the people you love so that you can follow men and lose your families. And I don't know brothers who have left their wives and all that because they perceived that the woman was white, or the woman, they couldn't figure out whether or not the woman was this, that, and the other. And people left their family, their children, and everything. Because of some guys saying that this scripture say that you ain't supposed to be with this person or that person. And I tell you what, that woman that he left loved him more than the people that he left them for. So we have to be careful getting into other people's relationships like that. You understand? If it's something you're not comfortable with, that's something you have to get over. If brothers and sisters are following Christ together and they're operating together, we ought to love everyone equally as brethren. We're going to show you that because everything else brings contention and strife. Read.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law.
Go ahead.
For they are unprofitable and vain.
I need to get the other one for me, please. Timothy, thank you. So this is my answer to that. Our church's answer to that. What the Most High put together, let no man put asunder. And I got something else on that about the Israelites that are scattered, that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Everyone is not going to look like you because you was born at this place or you born that place. That doesn't mean they're not the Most High's elect. It doesn't mean they're Israelites. They're not Israelites. So we have to be careful with that genealogy and looking at it strictly from skin color. Okay? And I put that out there a long time, that don't forget when the judgment comes, it's going to start at the Most High sanctuary. We're going to be judged first before the nations. So just Israelites alone, outside of everyone else, 90% of us are going to die. 90%. So what about that? What about all the people who have the wholesome spirit of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in them, who have chose the path to Satan, to hell? And we talk about everyone else. What about our choices we make that lead us down the dark path? Whether or not somebody's in a relationship have no bearing on whether or not I'm going to get into the kingdom of heaven. Right? And even the Most High say when everything break down, the Most High is even going to cause the enemies of us to entreat us well. Those that we perceive as enemies. And it's going to be based off of our relationship of how we deal with everyone. If we treat everyone like the Most High say treat an Israelite, we're good. Period. Right? Now I want to show something real quick after Timothy. Read that real quick.
This is the book of Timothy, chapter 1, 1 Timothy.
1 Timothy, yeah.
1 Timothy 1, 3 through 4.
Go ahead.
As I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine. Verse 4.
Go ahead.
Neither giving heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do.
Now the question is, I need to read that last part again.
1 Timothy 1,
that last verse
1 and 4. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies.
Fables and endless genealogies. Why would there be fables and endless genealogies when it comes to Israel? Why would there be fables and endless genealogies concerning Israel with what y'all know right now? Why would there be questions concerning Israel?
Because they're trying to hide it.
Huh?
They're trying to hide it and not let us know who we are, because when we figure out who we are, we'll take it back.
There, yeah, but another point is what Kuda said there. We don't have a homeland. We were scattered. So if there's any questions that will arise, it would be, who is Israel? Don't forget, at one time, we thought we were someone else. So now we finally find out in the last hour that we Israel. We become the authority to say who everyone else is. We just found out we were Israel ourselves. So now we can point out and say, well, no, who's your father? Okay, what land mass you? Israel was scattered everywhere. That was the curse. So of course questions going to come in concerning who Israel is. Israel have no home. Now we know for certain, based on groups of numbers, I mean, when it comes to predominant in certain areas and based on the curses, where we can find a good amount of them. But brothers and sisters, the number that we found is minimal to the number that haven't been found yet. We're just identifying the ones that can relate to us. Because that's what people do. People first deal with understanding that relates to them first. But that doesn't minimize another Israelite out there that could be in Turkey someplace, that could be in Bulgaria, that could be in Russia, that could be in a remote part of Egypt, that can be here or there, that we've never seen before. That could be in India. So you will see a brother walking around with an Indian woman, you know what I mean? And she have the Indian garb on, and somebody might turn their face up on, like, what's this? We losing all of our brothers, or vice versa. Not realizing that the Most High put them together. Who's you? And see, that falls into what the Bible calls being busybodies too. We can be up in everybody's business, and still we don't have it right ourselves. And I'm just putting it out there because I see this, and it's a shame because everyone that I've seen that run into this truth can't deny that this is the truth. But it sours them when they feel that there's no part for them. It's a sour feeling, like, well, y'all got the truth and all that, but I don't know if you're leaning all the way towards the gospel or going somewhere else with this. It's becoming some other thing now. You understand? Finish reading that last part again. I'm going to bring it out here.
1 Timothy 1:4.
Go ahead.
Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do.
Exactly. That is in faith, so do. So, and that's why I try to get out of this what you would call old Israelite type of understanding when I view how to spread the gospel. That's why I get out of it, because I understand the majority of our people, they are scattered all over the earth. And they probably can't even relate to what it is to deal with the culture of an Israelite. They don't know what slave ships are. They haven't been put on slave ships. You understand? So we have to find another way. We have to deal with we have to go into their culture, their understanding. We have to go into what they've been dealing with to teach them the truth. You understand what I'm saying, though? We be so caught up into our own Israelite thing. Oh yeah, where's your border of blue, or where this or where that? Listen, you already know you're Israel. That's fine. You follow the law. You keep on doing what you're doing. But there's other people of this fold that we have to get to, that may not be able to relate to what you can relate to right now. So it can't be one way, or just one way in which this is what the Israelite, or you going off when it comes to the gospel. And that's what made the New Testament teachers some of the greatest teachers. Not just New Testament. That's what made Daniel so great. Check out how Daniel operated in other countries. Check out how our father Abram operated in other countries with other people. You understand? And I see some people running around, yeah, I'm an Israelite, yeah. Yeah, what are you? Yeah, I'm God's chosen. Yeah, give me some bananas here. You know, like you got the kingdom already. But we're going to find out. I'm going to go there too in a minute. Let's go to the multitude which no man could number. Let's go to scattered first, and then the multitude that no man could number. And see, you notice how when you look at what's going on in the world, as far as the depopulation thing, I want to bring that here. Right now, the new scare is the Ebola thing. Right? The new scare is the Ebola crap they came up with. Another scare that have a pretext of getting the population down to what? Everything we hear, no matter what disease, it's the population need to be downsized to 10%. They keep saying that 90% of the population can die over something. So who's trying to kill 90% of the population? And on top of that, who's prophesied in the Bible to only make it through with 10%? So that's telling you that they know the majority of the population of the earth are Israelites. They know that. The Bible told us in Hosea that we're going to be numbered as the sand of the sea, that no man could number. So they're trying to get the earth down to a certain population because they know the earth is filled with Israelites. And they have separated themselves to contend against that 10%. They've already separated themselves hundreds of years ago. Thousands of years ago, they separated themselves and kept their bloodline. Even after Rome fell, they went into the Khazarian Empire and hid themselves to construct a new system politically in which they can still control the world from behind closed doors and keep their bloodline pure. So they're prepping up, not to fight against the 100% of Israelites, but the 10% that are left. So that tells us if they tell you they need to get the world population down to 10%, they must know the majority of the earth are who? Israel. So when we show you the 12 tribe sign, we're not saying that those are just all the Israelites. Okay? Those are the Israelites we can identify from our captivity historical vantage point. But what I find with traveling and talking to other people, we're not the only people who've suffered in this earth and that are still suffering in this earth. And all of them don't look like us, but they're in large groups and ghettos all over the earth being taken advantage of by Russians, being taken advantage of by these people or that people. And their stories are similar. It's just that we didn't grow up around them. So there's no sensitivity towards their plight, towards their captivity. But their captivity is important nonetheless. Excuse me. They're not looking at it as if our captivity is something more special, that they should sympathize when no one is there to sympathize for them. See? And that's broadening the scope of teaching so that we can be more effective and help the people of our people that need to be helped, because that's the majority of the earth. That's not just the people on the 12 tribes out. What you got, Lawman?
So Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64.
Yes.
And the Most High shall scatter thee among all people.
Among who?
Among all people.
Among all people.
From the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
To the one end of the earth, even unto the other. Read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
Taking you back into paganism. So what we're showing here is that there's scriptures in which we were scattered from the whole land amongst every nation under heaven. So while we were dealing with the slave ships going in captivity over here, what was happening to our people that was serving in China? Do you know? Don't even concern you, do it. But guess what? They're Israelites nonetheless that went into China. Okay? And I'm putting it out there, so we have to be careful not to judge the outward appearance like Paul was talking about. Just judging what you see with your eyes. Based on something happened to you on a personal level, or something, or you know, some pet peeve you have personally. That have nothing to do with the Most High. Read on.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20.
Go ahead.
And when you... I'll wait. St. Luke 21, verse 20.
Go ahead.
And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
So we were scattered. First, you had the 10 tribes that were scattered, and then you had the Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who was the southern kingdom, scattered. Now we can find them predominantly in Africa, which is the wilderness, because that's easy to find. That's easy to understand. But what about all the people that were scattered well before we were scattered in 70 AD? A lot of them. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at Dan. Dan is still around here. He's operating as a Gentile now, but he's still here. Look, let me tell you, all of Greece, a lot of them were Danites, and a lot of them were our people. Not only mixed with the priesthood too. There's historical proof of that, with Levi operating amongst them too. Are they any less than the Levi we can find in Haiti? Just because we don't know what their foreparents been through? Let's get it real quick. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
No, it's just Babylon.
Into all nations.
Just America.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Into all nations. So outside of North, Central, and South America, just the areas that we have identified is minimal. That's why the end is not yet. Right? See? Now, I need you to get Hosea, where it says, Israel shall be the sand of the sea that can't be numbered. Hosea, I think it's like 1 and 10. And get me in Revelation 7, a multitude that no man could number, with palms in their hand.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 10.
I mean, I done heard, let me tell you, I done seen every type of Israelite that you can think about. All right? Every doctrine that you can think about. I done seen situations where there was Israelites out there who can look at you and be like, well, you can't be Israel. I'm checking you out. Who's your father? What type of mess he dealing with? I'm not feeling the Israelite spirit on you. And I'm looking at it, what about the wrong of our people that just do wrong? Why does someone have to be someone else to be wrong? Let's get it real quick. Let's get Hosea, the first chapter. And I need you to get, and I hope I'm answering to a bunch of these questions that's going out there concerning race. Right? Let's read it real quick.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 10.
Go ahead.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
You cannot measure Israel, nor can you number Israel. If you, whoever out here, whoever's in here or listening out there, go to a beach and count grains of sand, starting with 1. Read it again.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
Read.
Which cannot be measured.
Which cannot be measured.
Nor numbered.
So what is that telling us? Israel is innumerable. See that? You can't measure. So what I'm saying is what you see on the 12 tribe sign was predominantly the understanding of the places we know they were scattered in the West. Okay? But Israel is all over the earth. All over the earth. Now, something key I wanted to bring out when it comes to the teaching of the gospel or operating with anyone concerning relationship, and I'm going to go into it in a minute. Read.
And it shall come to pass that in the same place where it was said unto them, you are not my people.
The same place that it was said, you are not my people. Now, where were the places it was told Israel that they were not God's people? Somebody name them. Everywhere. Everywhere. Wherever Israel was scattered, they were told they were someone else. Everywhere. Everywhere. They were told they were someone else. Read.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people,
The same, we can relate to say, okay, the Most High didn't know anybody named African American. That's how I can relate to it. The same place where we were under titles like Negro or whatever the case is. The Most High don't know no people named Negro. He don't know no people named Black or Black American or Hispanic. He don't know no people like that. He gave his people a name. So in the same place where it was said, ye are not my people, read.
there it shall be said unto them,
There it shall be said unto the same people.
Ye are the sons of the living God.
Your bloodline goes directly back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I'm going to tell you, when you start talking to some people with the truth, their spirit bear witness because there's something in their life that relates to what's going on in these scriptures. And the Most High start calling them back the same way he called us. They just have a different story. They have a different captivity. Right? So when you hear about these world events, about people that have suffered, people that have been going through things, governments killed thousands of them off, and it was a mutiny and they had to go someplace. All these wars are the wars against the serpent seed and the children of Israel. Every war. It's really them trying to eradicate us all over the earth. Right? Let's get in Revelations real quick.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 9.
Now let's make this clear though. Here's the key thing. No one in the truth can have a tie with darkness. Two cannot walk together lest they be agreed. And it tells you, the Bible tells us, no one can be unequally yoked with unbelievers. See, now that's the parameter. That's the guideline there. Okay? That's the guideline. That's where you're going to have a battle if you're dealing with the truth and you're dealing with anyone or someone that's dealing with Canaanite gods. No. Why does it say you cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers? If you look at it from just a regular standpoint, when you yoke two oxen together, they have the same agenda. When you crack that whip, they're going to go the same way, and it's going to plow the land. What happens if you have two bulls yoked together, and one is pulling this way and one is pulling that way? How much will you grow? How much land will you till? It's become unfruitful because why? Y'all fighting, one pulling this way and one pulling the other way. And that's what happens. If you're with an unbeliever, if you're dealing with unbelievers, there's an influence one way or the other, whether you want to admit it. There's no in between. Either you're pulling or they're pulling. There's no we're just coexisting. So that's the ties that bond, not whether or not you know if someone is an Israelite. You cannot be unequally yoked with unbelievers, or you will fall to the same curses as your fathers. That's the key. That's the key. Now, if someone see a person, I'm just going to give you an example. If someone see two people together who you think is a regular couple, that's a normal couple. Okay, that's two blacks or two whites or whatever, two Chinese or whatever the case is, right? And both of them are pagans. They two black Israelites come out of a Catholic church with ash on their head. What good is it them being Israelites? So if you see two people together that don't look to match the way you think they should be matched, but they're both are serving the Most High in spirit and in truth, Who are we to say that something is wrong with that? And we can identify that something is wrong with that. When I don't see you nowhere amongst our people that's operating in paganism and all types of evil, saying that, well, hold up. But you can point out two people that's trying to do what's right because they don't look like you. Right? I'm just putting it out there. Because let me tell you, there's not a class I've taught for the last couple of years that I didn't come online and one of the first questions pop up, what do we think about interracial marriages? Is that every week or what?
God.
And I want to get past this once and for all. It's about serving the Most High. Let's get it in Revelations when it talks about the palms. Now don't forget, who was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth? No man could number. Israel, innumerable, right? Get Revelation 7.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 9.
Read.
In this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations.
Hold up. Who's the great multitude that no man could number? When you link that up to Hosea, the first chapter. Read, you got it. As the sand of the sea that no man can number. So when you look at Revelations and it talks about 12,000 from each tribe, Benjamin, Judah, those are the leaders that are set up under the disciples. But that multitude that no man can number, which is the majority of the earth, that have followed the Most High and have rejected all Canaanite worships, they're the children of the Most High. It's going to go there real quick. Read it. Read it.
Revelations 5, 9 through 10.
Go ahead.
And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
That's it.
For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue.
Exactly.
And people and nation.
Read that again.
Revelations 5 and 9 through 10. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us.
Christ was crucified and have redeemed us. We know Christ came to redeem Israel, purchase Israel, right? Read.
To the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred.
Out of every kindred.
And tongue.
And tongue.
And people.
And people.
And nation.
And nation.
Verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
That is crystal clear. So that links directly to the multitude no man could number after he breaks down the 12,000 from each tribe. Do everyone see that?
Yeah.
That's clear? All right. I want to read one more thing. Let's go to Corinthians real quick, the 6th chapter. This is strictly for edification. I hope we got that out of the way. Okay, let's go.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints?
Okay, now this is total understanding within the church, right? Because these letters were written to the church. Read that again.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
That's saying that we're not supposed to go to law at all concerning any matters amongst us. The police, none of them. Okay. Why? Because we understand that when you go to the law, they're looking to do what? They're looking to destroy both of you. And they're not looking for your turn. They're looking to get in and to destroy all of you. They're not looking at it from a pious justice type of aspect. Understanding. Now, let me make this clear. Is there a place for the law? Can someone do things illegal and think because someone is not going to go to the law against them that they're okay to do things that are wrong to others? No, that's not excused either. So we must be lawful amongst each other. But if we do have a matter, we can't sue each other. We can't look to try to get each other arrested. Right? But that's not the point that I wanted to bring in here, but I wanted to break the whole chapter down. Read.
Verse 3. Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more the things that pertain to this life?
Go ahead.
Verse 4. And if ye have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church.
So that means if you got matters, there's someone in the church, even least esteemed brethren in the church, that can give you some spiritual answers. Instead of thinking that, okay, you know, I can do it by myself, or I'll go to the law, or whatever. There's people who can help you within the church. Read.
Verse 5. I speak to your shame. It is so that it is not wise, Slakia.
Is there, yeah.
I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. Verse 6. But brother, go to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers.
That means you'll go to an unbeliever to settle the matters of the righteous. Now, the Most High from the throne, he's looking at that like, what's wrong with this picture? Right? Read.
Verse 7. Now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do you not rather take wrong? Why do you not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded?
That means why not take the bad on something? Why not take the loss? Than to deal with the Most High for trying to take down your brother or sister. And I seen something online the other day that had me like, there was one family that called the police because there was some futile argument. It wasn't even an abuse, just a regular argument that happened in the house. And the police came in and shot the brother dead. The mother and the daughter sitting there crying. But they called the cops in. It was something small. It wasn't even a big matter. He didn't hit nobody or nothing, but it was a thing where they wanted the cops in. The cop came in and just shot this brother dead. And they both crying like they didn't want this. This is not what they wanted. But you don't know the intent, the spirit the Most High have on the authority. And you calling your family in to be dealt with by them. And there's death angels on these police and on the authority. And when they come in, they're going to do something that you don't want. They're not there to just do your will because you got a problem with someone. And I wanted to put that out there. I just seen this a couple of weeks ago, where these cops are straight up just killing brothers and sisters. So you calling them in, and they're killing you. So when you read this in the church, you can understand why Paul was writing this. He understood the prophecies concerning what the Romans were prophesied to do against us. So how can you call them in and go to law against them, and they're the one that's going to destroy Israel? Right? Finish reading.
Verse 8. Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. Verse 9.
It says, so sometimes take the loss. You rather take the loss in something or be wrong in a situation and don't even worry about it than call the authorities in to try to settle some matters. Okay? And think about it. When you call them in, by the time they come, a lot of things could have happened in between the time. It takes them forever to get there. So you couldn't settle that matter, and they coming in blazing. So there's a chance. It's not like when you call them, they're going to pop out of nowhere and come in your house and see what really happened. See? And it's all that. It's everyone is taking everyone to court, and this, that, and the other. They got all of us up in the system, looking to destroy us all, knowing all of our business. We telling all of our business to these Satanists. Read on.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High?
Go ahead.
Be not deceived,
Now here's the key.
neither fornicators, nor idolaters,
Fornicators, idolaters,
nor adulterers,
adulterers,
nor effeminate,
effeminate, we know what that is, LBGT,
nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
and that's totally unlawful. Men abusing themselves with other men, which is, let's finish reading.
Verse 10. Nor thieves,
Nor thieves,
nor covetous, nor drunkards,
nor drunkards,
nor revilers,
nor revilers,
nor extortioners,
nor extortioners
shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High.
Now, I wanted to stop there because these are all the things we have to focus on not being. We have to focus on not being any of these things written because there's no entry. Okay, some might say, well, listen, you might not abuse yourself with mankind, but are you a drunkard? You understand? Are you this? Are you that? Right? Finish reading.
And such were some of you, but ye are washed.
He says, because a lot of us were one of these, but we were baptized. Read.
But ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Yeshua and by the Spirit of our power.
So what does that mean that we're justified in the name of Yeshua and by the Spirit of our God? What does that mean we're justified by Christ? Anyone?
If we turn away from doing whatever we were doing in the past.
No, when it says we're justified, it's letting you know that we were washed, right? And now Christ, we're justified through Christ. It's not going to be our name that we get in through. We're justified. We're going to get a pass when the Most High see us and see His Son. Okay, that's my son. Okay, you can get in. He's not even looking at you. He's not even looking at us because we are all sinners. We are justified. He sent His Son to justify us. Right? So how we get in when the Most High see His Son in us. That's what gets us in, not us. And if the Son is in us, we're following the laws. We're treating people the way they're supposed to be treated. So that's what gets us through. We get through by being justified through Yeshua. Read.
Verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient.
Read that. Where you at again?
Verse
12, 6 to 12, right?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All things are expedient.
All things are lawful.
All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient.
Now, I'm going to ask a question there because I want y'all to understand it as we go. What does it mean all things is lawful to Paul? Read it again. Come on,
all
anybody.
things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient.
What does that mean? All things are lawful to Paul, but all things are not expedient.
You talking about the nations? I mean, our people that we had to deal with, and how the law back in the day was like we couldn't sit with them and be around them and keep company with them.
You can put that in. You can put that in there. But when it says all things are lawful to Paul, but all things are not expedient, there's things he could do in his grace that some people that's in the truth or looking at the law could deem unlawful. But he understands he must do this to get our people who's in sin, like Christ did. You understand? Like for instance, if someone seen me walking out of a Catholic church, you understand? It's mass, and I come walking down the steps talking to somebody out of the Catholic church. Now, did I sin? You have no idea what I was doing up in there. So it's lawful for me to be there to teach the gospel, or I could have been meeting a pastor or a preacher that was going to come on the show. I could be talking to somebody who invited me in and say they'll listen to what we have to say. But he says all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient, which means he must have the understanding of how to exercise his grace. Because of him walking or me walking out of the Catholic Church, even though I know I wasn't doing unlawful in there, cause you to fall, it's sin. So what he's saying is he have the knowledge of how to exercise and operate in his grace. You understand?
Mhm.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Like, we're all under grace. And we understand that things are certain things are lawful. But if it appears a certain type of way to someone who believes, it's sin. It's sin. Because we don't have the knowledge to know how to operate in that grace. All things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. You got it? Read. And don't forget, he broke that down right after breaking down all the things that will stop up the kingdom of heaven, that would stop us from making it in.
Let me read this real quick.
Yes.
To add to that. It says, this is 1 Corinthians 8, verse 9. But take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
There you go. So we have to watch that if we're operating and know that, okay, I don't have no evil intent in this, we have to understand that you cannot exercise grace that you have and hope that everyone understands.
Mm-hmm. It's more going to actually clear to the example you were given.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. For if any man see thee which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple,
there you go,
like
Catholic Church.
Shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols?
Exactly. You wasn't in there eating pork, but they don't know that. They'd be like, okay, well, I can eat pork then. He was in the Catholic Church. I seen the ham. See? So it'll cause other people to think they can do things in which they don't have the knowledge. They're not even there to exercise that level of grace yet because they don't understand both good and evil. Right? What you have in Corinthians.
1 Corinthians, yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Meats for the belly and belly for the meats. Well, the rest of verse 12.
Yeah.
All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly and belly for the meats, but the Most High shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for the Lord.
Now what is the body for?
The body is not for fornication, but for the Lord.
But for the Most High, right? Now a lot of things he says is going to stop us from getting into the kingdom of heaven leads to fornication. Or it's some form of fornication. When our body was given to us not for that, but to do what? To serve the Most High. Read.
And the Lord for the body. 14. And the Most High hath raised both up the Lord, and will raise us up us also by his own power.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. 17.
So what does that mean? No, but check it out. When he says that, don't you know that you are part of the body? The body is not separate. So if one is doing something wrong, that's everybody. That's everybody. That's not just one person operating. That's the body. Absolutely, because we're joined Once we're baptized, we're joined to one body. So even though we may think we're individuals, it don't work that way. If something is paining someone in the spirit that's part of the body, other people feel it. The same way, if there's an ailment in your body, you understand, you will shut down. You can't separate your ailment from your body. See? That's what it's talking about. We're one, right? Read.
Verse 16. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
There you go.
But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Most High, of the Holy Spirit, which is in you?
That means the Most High have a spirit in us, right? That came through baptism, that came through repentance. It's the Holy Spirit that we can grieve through sin. Read.
Which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not of your own.
We are not of our own. We're not individuals. Okay. Read.
Verse 20. For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High's.
All right.